All right, hello everybody, and we're gonna do Python continued. So, even if you're just watching for the Minecraft, you're here for the Minecraft, you get to stay for the Python. So, we just briefly started talking about variables, control flow, and loop logic, and also print statements, just very briefly on all of these subjects. But these are the main points that you need to know how to program, and then that's it. Once you feel comfortable with all of these things, it's just a different combination of these things, and then you can think about different ways to use these things. And that's why I think what I want to do tonight, I'm either going to do some code wars, just like some more of the white kata, which are the easiest level in Python still. I'm not going to change languages just yet. Eventually I will. I mean, and you can do Java on that Code Wars. In fact, if you watch those videos, so far I've made 2 videos of just doing the white challenges or the easiest challenges, and I've done 8 challenges, and they've all been on screen. I'm not going to do any of those off screen. That way, and I don't know how far I'm going to go, because I would need to try to talk to Code Wars and see if they're okay with me just streaming all of that, because essentially it's showing you the answer to all of these projects, or all of these code challenges. And while, yes, once you beat the challenge, you're able to see what other people have done, um, it could be considered cheating if there was a way to just watch how to do every single last problem. I mean, at some point, like I could probably do like a good 10 or 20 and then be like, okay, now you need to do this. And that's why I want to go back and like just walk through my tutorial, do a very short, 30-minute video of like, hey, this is how you use my Python coding game tutorial playground. A-Rye's beginner Python concepts. Um, but that's what it is. And I have beginner Java concepts and beginner Python concepts. The only problem is the Java concepts, it's not runnable in the browser yet. It is possible to run it in the browser. And just like how I can't figure out the bug that's in my Python playground, because like the one of the encryption algorithms just doesn't work. And I've copied the code and pasted it elsewhere and made it run and it works. And so that's why it's really confusing. So I think it's just part of like how I have it. I'm bad with markup languages, like how to, it's like the HTML of web development for any of them. I mean, let's talk about that real quick too. If you want to get into web development, it's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript basically. And HTML is hypertext markup language, where it's basically just a bunch of tags, open and close tags for most of it, but ways to organize a document. And that's the document that's being sent to your computer um, to be processed as a web page for your browser, all that good stuff. So, and actually, let's go put, I don't know where, well, okay, so it actually wasn't here, but I'm going to take this. And because we are going to try to add as many emeralds as we can to the llama coaster. So, oh, that's why. So there's some, uh, yeah, whatever. I can always get more later. I'm just gonna put them up there. But anyways, so, and then CSS is cascading style sheets, which means, okay, I want it to look like this, like make it this color and these different flags. Like you're using the HTML as markers for where things are what, and then you use the CSS to say, okay, I want that piece to look like this and have this type of indentation, spacing, and all that. There's size, font size. And the JavaScript is like what makes it go. Like, okay, now I want to program it and to where it's actually like, um, do these things, show these pictures, like add this stuff. And that's web development in a nutshell. And I do have videos of that up already. They're not the best, and that's why I need to go back and make like little half-hour snippets. But right there, look, like we already, it's 4 minutes into this recording. Um, we went over the basics of web development. Oh wait, we're going here. All right, and we are going to continue to just drop off all this produce because yeah, it's pretty full back there. And I don't know why I didn't think about this sooner. Just have a different minecart and have it end here. Then I can keep going back and forth. And already this is exciting, but I'm thinking I need to adjust the height of the emeralds because I'm gonna want it bigger, or at least like, or maybe the viewing area is still the same. Like this is just a tunnel, and actually, yeah. Even as I say that, because if you go to the Colorado or the Denver Aquarium, I don't want to do spoiler. Or actually, yeah, you're gonna have to go see it. Take my word for it. They have like tunnels. Oh, it's so awesome. But go check it out. Anyways, Python code programming. So once you learn loops, if-else statements, and variables, you're good. And then comments are just like an extra thing. They're not really critical. All you need to know for a comment is it is a way to take a piece of code and make it not readable by the computer. So this is used for leaving little notes for other people, like humans, using your code, so they can read it, say they can see who wrote the code, how much it's updated or when the last time it was updated, where to go to find additional information or support, stuff like that. Things that the computer really shouldn't see because it wouldn't really know what to do with it and it would crash. It would just be like, oh, error it out or, yeah. So you want it to be hidden from the computer. And that's why that is. So, but yeah, comments. And these are, again, these are all sections in the, I'll put the link in the description so you can go see. And then, like I said, you came here for the Minecraft and you get to stay for Python programming. And then, there you go. You have a employable skill and so and we're going to do two profiles, a Code Wars and a Coding Game profile, up to medium level. And again, I might have to reach out to these two companies and just be like, hey, I already know it's easy with Coding Game because they do allow streaming. They allow streaming. I don't know about, well, actually, as I say that, yeah, I think it's fair game as long as you're doing the project live on stream. Hmm. Because then that would entail someone would be dedicating a certain designated time to watching you stream. Whereas if you saved it to YouTube of you solving those puzzles, because that's why I'm going to do the same with Coding Game. I'm going to solve a couple of the easy puzzles, on camera so you can get the concepts down and then, tell you where to go from there. And then I'm still working on my intermediate and advanced concepts for Python and Java. And I don't know how long it's going to take me for that, honestly. It could be a while. It's already been a year since I've even done the last of my GED videos. And that's just to because again, I'm trying to get everybody up to the same level. Like no matter where you are, where you're at in your educational journey, like I want to have tools available to help you out. So anyways, let's see. Now I'm getting down to loading it up over there. And see, now it's so much nicer now that I have that cart back and forth. So, anyways, on the Coding Game Playground tutorial, Beginner Python Concepts by A-Rye, which is actually at over 35,000 views, so it's pretty cool. Not a lot of comments, but whatever. People are shy. Anyways, I have on there an encryption algorithm called ROT13. Oh, you're just gonna do that, huh? All right. And this isn't even like, well, we'll go ahead and drop these veggies off, and then we'll work on that project, and yeah, keep talking about Python. But basically, I love the ROT13 encryption algorithm because it demonstrates when you would use if-else logic. It demonstrates when you'd use loop logic. You, and then ROT-N even takes it further, and you have like a loop and like all this cool stuff about, okay, you want 13 rotations with the ROT13, that's fine. But then what if you wanted a variable, like a dynamically assigned amount of rotations for an encryption? So, and you can even surpass like the entire 26 for the English alphabet. You could do 520 rotations, but then you just like modulo and divide out how many times that would be. You wouldn't want to actually do that. Like, you'd want to save the computer computational time and just estimate like, oh, this is where it would end up. So, yeah, and then once you know how to like program the basics, then it's good to like move on from Code Wars to Coding Game and then do the the Clash of Code. And that's where you do 15-minute challenges of just like usually pretty simple algorithms. Some of them are kind of hard. And I have had, well, I mean, a lot of them are, they're all challenging, except for some. Like, once you get comfortable with returning function stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, that's another thing. There's functions and methods. So, like in Java, you have methods. Python, it's all functions. But basically, these are sections of code that are isolated from the rest of the program that you have to call outside of the function. So, but it's a pre-built piece of code that you can call multiple times. So that way you don't have to keep writing new loops to do the same piece of code. You can just store that function somewhere and then just say, for instance, let's have a function for storing cobblestone in my inventory as I mine it. So as I walk over it, the condition, if current location is, or current position is same as this object, which is just a floating, see, it even has floating behavior contained within it, saying, okay, I'm going to rotate and float and stay in this coordinate. And once I touch that, and even like the piece of the coordinate, honestly, I want to say, like, it's almost from the center of each coordinate. There, it measures or it calculates the distance you are to an object. And then if once you get close enough, it plays a sound. And so the sound playing code would be a function. The floating and rotating would be a function. It would, or well, yeah, I want to say that would even be like separated onto a function, because really you want every function or piece of code to only do one thing. So you could almost have a separate function for floating and a separate function for rotating, and then a separate function for play sound. And then that way you could change the play sound to see if like you developed something else or something different. You could still have it just say play sound, but then you would change the function that that pointed to. And so then it just becomes like an address, or you think like a mailbox address or mailing address. Where's the location of this piece of code that says, oh, do this. So anyways, yeah, programming is so much fun, and all it is it's basically one giant video game in itself of trying to solve problems, trying to solve like how do you handle manipulating a lot of data, transmitting a lot of data, or doing basic functions, basic tools. I don't know. Or maintaining servers, maintaining uptime, interacting with systems, checking on systems. Because that's the other thing once it gets into like cybersecurity and stuff. That's where like everybody I mean, now that's like the craze. Everybody wants to jump into cybersecurity, but before it was like everybody wanted to jump into like game development, game design. And then, people started going out there and committing these cyber crimes and like stealing and stuff. And it's like, oh, and like identity theft. In fact, there's even that entire movie with what's her name? The lady from like, oh, what is that? The Heat, I think? Yeah, with Julia Roberts. I know Julia, or is it? Anyway, Sandra Bullock. No, I get confused. But anyways, um, identity theft. It's a very real danger, and that's why cybersecurity is so interesting. That's why you need to learn Python, because you can do a lot of really good scripting and automation with Python, and really for a wide range of problem solving. And that's why problem solving is so important. Yeah, see, we're even gonna like, I don't know, that is gonna be, I think, yeah, it's going to be a tunnel. We're going to do glass up there, probably glass across. And, this one's going to be raised up, then we'll do glass down. And it'll have, like, things going over it and everything. Yeah, it's going to be nice. So let's go and clear all this out. Because we at least want to show off the fact that these are emerald blocks. So, yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Yeah, and then Python. So with the raw 13, basically the idea is if you assign a numerical value to every letter in the, A through Z, 1 through 26, then you would move it 13 places, which in a 26-letter alphabet is exactly halfway. So if you go halfway around the world and then you go halfway around the world again, two halves make a whole. You've done a full rotation, meaning you've encrypted and decrypted a message, basically. And every single letter is rotated exactly 13 times. So their new value, or their encrypted value, is 13 numerical values higher. And then you got to make it loop too. So that's like a circular array or circular group of data points. So once you hit Z and you get plus one more, it needs to loop all the way back to A. And see, that's the thing, is like most, even kids nowadays, learning, like when you're typing things, like say on the PlayStation, you're trying to save the name of a video you're uploading or whatever. It is a circular array. Every single line of letters and keys that you could press on the virtual keyboard, sorry, is in itself, it's a it's a circular array. So once you get to the end, then it moves all the way to the left side of the screen, or at least the left side of that window. And that's just why, and that is a little trickier, or it was for me when I was learning Java. Whereas Java is just harder in general because you do have to have the semicolons for the actual organization for what the computer sees, but you also need to do the indentation for what other people are going to see that are going to have to work with your code. But you're more focused on the semicolon at first, and then once people find it's like an unnecessary step. It would almost be nice if like, well, that's why I like Python is because the indentation is enforced, and you will have bugs if you don't indentation if you don't use proper indentation. And so it's a way to keep you in check and make you write clean, or at least cleaner code that's easier to read. So, and anyways, yeah, in the Code Wars videos, we do that. The Route 13 algorithm, sorry, let's just at least explain that. And then that'll give a basic understanding of loops, control flow, and stuff like that. So the Route 13, um, let's see. So first you have a message coming in. So that's like a string variable, which is a group of character variables. Um, and again, and this is what's cool about Python. It doesn't matter. You don't have to declare what type of variable it is. You just say, here's my variable, and it doesn't matter where it comes from. Like it's just a minor adjustment to get it to come from anywhere. Like you want the user to enter or type something in, and then yeah. So you have a message to encrypt or to make into ciphertext, or basically to scramble to where it's not easily readable without some kind of manipulation, which in this case is just another rotation of 13, and in the same direction, mind you, too. So it has to be 13 plus 13, although that is the cool thing about this one, is it really doesn't matter, but that is something you need to think about when programming. You're like, okay, well, which direction are we doing 13? Is it the same every time? And if it doesn't, if it needs to be different, you need to take that into account when you're programming. So anyways, so with route 13, you take a message, and then you need another variable for where you're going to store the ciphertext, and then you're going to need a function, like an encrypt function, that you would feed each one of the letters to, and then it would spit out another letter, or you can write a loop that does that exactly what I just described. Actually, this is probably how you do it. You would write a loop that says for the length of the message, so like until we've addressed every single letter in the message, including white space, like spaces between words, and punctuation, anything like that. It's all important, and all needs to be considered. Ooh, spooky sounds. So, anyways, and then so you read in all the message, you have the message stored in a variable, and then you read that variable over, and then you create a new variable as you go. You can add every encrypted letter to the new variable as you go. Um, and then once you're done, then you have an encrypted uh, piece of text, and then you can either output that to the screen, write it to a file, um, tweet it. I don't know. Like you could do so much with it now. And these are things that I have no idea what to do, but I'm sure you could do them. So, anyways, and basically make bots or robots, which used to be like for the elite programs, and now people, like I wrote a Discord bot watching a YouTube video. It took me like 20 minutes. Well, it actually took me like an hour because I really wanted to feel like I understood it. So I was like going extra slow and like pausing the video. So, but that's why I want to put out the little half-hour videos, little nice, easy videos, which I honestly don't know if I set an alarm or not, but I've been doing a lot of these, and we got like a couple projects going on. I'm building a river, building llama roller coasters. Uh, this current thing is building a diorama for a llama. I mean, now both of these llamas. I'm gonna just have them. And that's the other cool thing is I could have like a contained roller coaster in here, and then just have them constantly going back and forth. Like, yeah, this is. Although I'm really not that far. And actually, that's not a surprise, really. I mean, like I already know that. Oh yeah, I can see it now. I'm gonna have the llamas going up, down, up, down. Oops. Anyways, I think I'm gonna take the coal out probably, and then oh yeah, I have to and take the coal out at least between these two. Yeah, so what's gonna happen is the llamas are gonna go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, basically. And so like as you're riding in this cart, going back and forth, because this will be for us, you'll be able to look over and see and hear that llamas are just continually going in a loop down all the way and then back around, or like, or even as they go, maybe we'll just have them like have individual rooms. Like this room would be this llama going all around, then up and down. And that way, then when you're traveling this way, you're also seeing llamas pop up and down and up and down. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. So like we're just clearing it out for now. Like this has to be done in stages. And like I still need to see where we're at with materials as far as rails go, because I know I had a bunch, but I don't know. I don't think I used too much more than like 2 or 3 stacks over there. So yeah, let's see. We need that. Um, hmm. In fact, where are we at with time? So 9 minutes. I don't think I did make an alarm. Let me see. 6:24. Yes, I did not. So now it's 6:49. We need about 8 minutes. So 6:50. 6. Yeah, 7 minutes. Whatever. Close enough. Okay. So in fact, we'll just keep going with this. Let's just keep grinding this down. Oh, so that's something to be careful of. I'm looking now. If you look at the bottom of the screen and how like you can see my tools, like they are getting durability, but unless you switch them, it's kind of hard to see when you need to go repair your tool. So you need to be careful if you are going to do this. Don't I wouldn't, and I try to not use my tools up until like once they start changing colors. I like to go fix them. Same with updating my browsers and stuff like, which is kind of it's a good practice. At least update your browsers and your software in your computer whenever it tells you to. Like with Windows, Windows will let you know. With Apple, same thing. Like they have their own system of alerting you. But then like with Google, with Chrome, like as your browsers, I use Chrome a lot. It'll tell you when it needs to be updated, and they do that like even if it's like some vulnerability or some flaw or some weakness that like people are finally like able to exploit that could be a danger to you like that day, they'll send out stuff like that. And so anyways, it's just you need to be ready for that. And so I don't know. And the Nintendo consoles automatically update files. I think they just like tell you what's going on. If you want to use the game, you have to update it. So they kind of have that control, where it's like they lock you out of the game unless you play the updated version. And again, that Node4j was a logging issue. There's a big vulnerability for Minecraft. And Minecraft upgraded like instantly. I mean, once it was discovered, and who knows how long people were exploiting that. I've seen some YouTube videos where like, hackers are known for exploiting things on Minecraft. So it is kind of scary, but basically anywhere where you can, well, I'm not going to say that part, but um, anyways, just be mindful of that, and you want to keep your things up to date. But you also don't need to be like updating all the time too, or like constantly seeking things out. I mean, automation is great. If you can automate, that's great. But if you can't, then just check maybe once a week, maybe once every couple of weeks. I don't know. I mean, they say it's like Patch Friday or Patch Tuesday. Like companies will do, like every now and then they'll do like all the updates, and if there are none, then okay, hooray. But at least something happens every week, or be on the lookout every week to, or be ready to schedule your time or some time to read through some patch notes or something. But which you can still do with games. But most of the time is just like, well, especially with Minecraft, they go in very detail. I do like to read some of their updates and stuff, but um, I mean, yeah, it's for safety, it's for features, it's for all sorts of stuff. Let's see. And even though I know that we did the alarm, I'm still like not trustworthy of it. So, but anyways, yeah, route 13. So you get the message in, you get the value for the new message or what it's supposed to be, and you save that to a variable. And then at the very end, you output the encrypted message, and you can even output like what the key was. So once you get to route n, which is all the same concept, only you have a variable. Oh, geez. Let's see. Ah, geez, like Rick and Morty. Then you have a variable amount that you encrypt it by, and then you definitely need to do the corresponding decryption. So say you did a rotation of 12. So, or no, let's do the rotation of 5. So if you did that, then you need to do a rotation of 21, the complement or whatever is combined with the first input to make 26, or it's 26 minus the input basically. And so see, you're doing some algebra, which is basically every time you do a sale or whatever, purchase something and make change. That's algebra too. But anyways, um, let's see. So yeah, so if it was a rot 5, you would need a corresponding 21 move or 21 value decryption process. And see, there you go. So even if you get that code written down, all right, now you need to write a piece of code for encryption and write a piece of code for decryption, which again, you can add, or if you have it as a function, add value or get char or something like that, and then you have something else to feed it, like what was it rotated before, and then it would just be like 26 minus whatever, and then it would adjust to be the rotation. So actually, even then, yeah, it gets tricky. So you get the text in, and you do the loop through every piece of the text, and you find the new value, and make sure you just know whether it's raw 13 and you're just doing it by 13 every time, and you don't have to figure out what it is. And if you do have to figure out what it is, then it's just 26 minus what it is, and then actually, is that how you just make like? No, because then you have like a tuple of the encrypt and decrypt values, and that is actually a thing. You have what's called a parabolic encryption system with a lot of like the heavier duty or encryption algorithms, and that you need like a much bigger textbook and a little bit more time than a few half-hour segments. So, but even this, like as we're like just mining this stuff out, making like a diorama, or making like a giant cave, basically, like a hangar type thing. Um, yeah, we're talking Python. And so, well, not actually specifically Python, just coding logic. And that's what you need to do when you're learning how to code is like first write it down what you're trying to do and then try to write out how you're going to do that. And I've heard it called pseudocode most recently, but that is just like planning out like a rough draft of like what you're going to, and treat it just like writing a paper, an English paper or, in your own language, but basically the way that you learn from coding from me is English. So anyways, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. That's all I know how to do. Like Spanish, I don't even feel confident like I'd want to do that. But anyways, so top down, left, right. That's how the code looks. And then, um, which might not be the case. Like, I don't know. I know Chinese is like top down, left, right, I think. Like just columns versus rows is the difference. I want to say, but I don't know for sure. All right, and let's just keep. Oh, there's the alarm. All right, so I'll try to do it tonight. If I don't do it tonight, I'll do it sometime soon. But basically, a walkthrough of the Python playground. I'll at least put the links in these videos. So if you're curious, go check that out, and then be on the lookout for a video explaining how to use the Python tutorial. Because really, once you learn how to do the Python tutorial, then those 2 videos that I did on just like 8 challenges make sense for Code Wars. They're not all the algorithms, so I want to do some more at least, maybe like 20 or 30 challenges, and at least the Sudoku one, so then you can see all of the different aspects of it in action, just like the ROT 13 algorithm. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. All right, yeah, we'll do a minute early. All right, see you later. Bye.